We ready now? Or we rocking and rolling? How's everybody? So we're trying to see how many people do we actually have in the Department of Veteran Services beautiful office. I see one lone wolf. I see one person. There's 3, and then there was 4.
How you doing, Wendy?
I'm fine, thank you, Lamar. How's everybody? Jason and Lauren, everybody, how are you?
Doing
Linda,
well.
everybody's coming in. That's good. We're gonna do what we have to do, and we're gonna start. Hello, I see Mr. Cologne. I don't know. I know that Joe, I didn't get anything. I know that he said he was gonna come to the meeting as well. Let me turn this thing off. Do we have any elected officials or anyone that said that they were coming through to give words? Does anybody know of? Is the commissioner coming on board, or just you guys from DVS are gonna hold it
Councilmember
down?
Holden should be on shortly.
Okay, I just want to make sure we have everybody. I know that just look out for me, because like I said, I'm on medical leave and just a little bit sedated. Just a tad. So
This is going to be fun.
just a little bit. Okay. So we're gonna get started. I was trying to see if there are any more individuals. I'm gonna ask Mercedes. I think she already did. And thank you so much, Mercedes, for everything and everybody as we put through and try to get our reports and everything in and welcome our veterans and stuff like that. So Mercedes, you want to set the agenda, or how do we want to start? Or we want to wait a few more minutes to see if anybody else was going to come in the room or come on? Maybe I can shoot something to our board members. Well, you guys joining us, and go from there. What do you think?
We can start it whenever. I'll send you a note when the chair joins, like Craig mentioned. So
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to start and we're going to introduce the folks that are in the room. Hi, New York City Department of Veteran Services. I see you. How are you? And also everybody here that's on the line, welcome to our first Veterans Advisory Board meeting of the year. I definitely want to thank you for last year. We did a Herculean task, working together, making sure that the lives of our New York City veterans are taken care of. And we still have to hear the cries, that are happening even now and today. So thank you, Commissioner, for joining us. And we're going to started and have the individuals in the room introduce themselves, and then, we can start with the board. I'm hoping that the board will join us shortly. And we're going in. My name is Wendy McClinton. I'm a United States Army veteran, 10 years United States Army, and I am representing Brooklyn, New York. I'm the chair. Hi.
I'll introduce myself next. Mercedes Elias, Marine Corps veteran. I represent Queens, and I'm the secretary of the board.
Okay, so that's what we have. The board members are
We also have Linda.
Oh, Linda.
Hi. I'm Goldstone mom, and I'm secretary treasurer of the staff, Sergeant Michael Alice Freedom Foundation. I represent Staten Island.
And our newest board member, so please forgive me. I apologize. I'm going to put it on my list. Take all mistakes for love. Thank you. Can DVS, would you like to introduce yourself? You want to start, Commissioner, with the ones in the room or the ones online?
We can start with the ones in the room. Wendy, to confirm, you can hear me, correct?
No, why you sound so far away, but your face is so close?
It's because the mic is on the computer that's in the front, not.
I'm using my computer now. Can you hear me better? Is that?
Yep.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for having us. Just starting off from DVS, James Hendon, Commissioner, Department of Veteran Services.
Evening, everybody. Lamar Wheeler, Director of Housing and Support Services for DVS.
Hi, Ellen Greeley, Assistant Commissioner for Policy and Strategic Partnerships.
Yeah, anybody else on the DVS team on the chat who didn't introduce themselves yet?
Yep, we'll go ahead and do that, Commissioner. Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Lochran, Assistant Commissioner for Community Services here at DVS. I'll pass it to our Executive Director, Lauren.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lauren DeMello. I am the Executive Director of Mental Health and Care Coordination at DVS.
Good evening, Paul Vallone, Deputy Commissioner, External Affairs, and welcome to the board, Linda.
Also, Wendy, I just want to turn it over to, I know this is his last meeting on the board. I see that Joe Bello is with us here in DVS headquarters. I'm going to defer to him too for introductions.
Yeah, they can, I think it's so many, they can all, it's only held a handful. Let's just everybody introduce who's in the room real briefly so we'll know. And everybody introduce, just say your name, your organization, who you're with, and let's go. I know if there's anyone else. Joe, you want to start?
Yeah, Joe Bello, last meeting on the board. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything. 7 years, it was a good run. And I look forward to seeing you all at the other meetings.
Good evening, Jermaine Howard, DVSJ, HPRP 2. I will represent the Brooklyn, Staten Island, and Queens location.
Jose Rios, Program Director, Veteran Suicide Prevention Program at Black Veterans for Social Justice.
Kevin C. Meggett, Director, Homeless Veteran Reintegration Program, #1, service the Bronx and Manhattan. Well, we service all boroughs, but that's my catchment area. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my name is Rob Poles. I'm a United States Army veteran. I served for 3 years. I belong to a number of veterans organizations, service organizations.
Excellent, excellent. Has everyone introduced themselves? Thank you so much. So now we're going to move this and will let us know if any of our other elected officials join us. If anyone else joins on, the meeting is being moved and we're going to move forward. Is that all right? So we're going to start with Commissioner Hendon and his team to give us an overview of what has happened and what's to come with the Department of Veteran Services.
Wendy, thank you so much. I'm going to start with 3 things and I'm going to turn it over to some new folks we have on the team on the services side of things. And so just to put it out there, I'm going to make some announcements that deal with just some public opportunities I want to make sure folks know about. I'm going to talk about the Dwyer Fund and what's going on with that. And then I'm going to defer to Jason Loughran, our Assistant Commissioner for Community Services, so he can introduce some new leadership that he has within his vertical that serves our veterans directly. So as far as announcements, just want to make sure folks know that this is the season if any veteran wants to sign up for a community board. You can visit nyc.gov/vet-community-boards to learn more. It's nyc.gov/vet-community-boards. And we recognize that you've got deadlines coming up for various boroughs really in the coming weeks, with the exception of Staten Island, where they have a rolling admissions situation. Between the 14th of February and the 17th of March, the other boroughs have their deadlines for any veteran looking to apply to be on a community board. So once again, that's nyc.gov/vet-community-boards. Another thing I want to point out, any nonprofits looking to apply for council funding, that the deadline for applying for city council funding is February 22nd. And so we highly recommend anyone looking to learn more, and that's going to be the 22nd of February. You want to visit nyc.gov/vet-council-funding. So nyc.gov/vet-council-funding. I'll put these in the chat. And so we just want to make sure our entities know where to go if looking to vie for city funding. And then a lot of our leaders in the veteran community know where to go if looking to join the different community boards. And so with those announcements, just want to say something about Dwyer. As far as, I'm putting this in the chat right now, the Joseph P. Dwyer program is an initiative that's sponsored by the state of New York, where it feeds money that is supportive of veteran peer-to-peer activities throughout the state. This is the first year that New York City has received funding for the Joseph P. Dwyer program. And so today we're happy to put out the language for our request for information about this program. And so that's been placed in the chat. At some point in the coming days, we'll get the approval to have an alias for it, which will be nyc.gov/vetDwyer. It will be nyc.gov/vetDwyer. For now, the link is there as far as where to have this information. We also have a QR code that we're making available through our different social media channels. When we look at this situation with Dwyer, we wanted to put the information out as soon as possible. The RFI has not been officially published yet, though. The Mayor's Office of Contract Services is reviewing certain aspects of things, and it has not officially published it. It will be published in Passport, which is the city's vendor system. So also on this website that we put out there is information about how to register as a vendor in Passport. So you see all the information that'll be required, all that's asked for you. At the same time, the way to respond to it once it's officially published will be through Passport. And you see more information about Passport on this link that's been provided. I want to add that our Veteran Business Leadership Association can provide technical assistance to any organization that is looking to compete for these funds that needs to sign up and register in Passport. So if anyone has questions about how do I register with the city, you want to visit nycvbla.org to learn more about how you can do that. And I'll put more information in the chat about the Veteran Business Leadership Association, which is here to provide technical assistance to our entities that are focusing on the veterans. And so once again, all the information on Dwyer is online. It's on the link that's here. As soon as the alias nyc.gov/vetDwyer is available, we'll let folks know. And you have information about how to sign up to actually respond to this RFI. You have to do it through the city's portal. And to do that, it's Passport. We have folks who can provide technical support for anyone who needs it. I'll pause for any comments or questions at this time about any of these things before we turn it over to Jason Loughran. All right, so while Jason's talking, I'll be putting things in the chat. Once again, I'm going to put nyc.gov/vet community boards for those looking to join a community board. I'm going to put nyc.gov/vet council funding for those entities looking to apply for council funding. The deadline is February 22nd. And I also put information about the Veteran Business Leadership Association, nycvbla.org, for anyone who needs technical assistance, particularly as they apply for funding through this PFC Joseph P. Dwyer program. That link is already in the chat. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Assistant Commissioner Jason Loughran so we can introduce his team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you, everybody, for joining today. We appreciate you coming out here and getting the opportunity to hear from you and hear from us at DVS. It brings me great pleasure today to introduce you all to 3 of our new directors under my line of action at DVS called Community Services. The 3 lines of actions are Housing and Support Services, Veterans Benefit Services, and Care Coordination Services. A little background on each one of those. Our Housing and Support Services unit has historically served those homeless veterans or veterans that are facing eviction. Our Care Coordination unit is very much like an air traffic control of requests coming into DVS. They're looking at things from a 30,000-foot view and connecting people to the array of services and nonprofits around New York City that help our veterans fulfill their needs. That is employment, legal support, mental health services, and many other things. And then lastly, our newest line of action, Veterans Benefit Services. We began conducting disability claims in the start of the pandemic. We certainly did not see the pandemic happening when we put forth our foot forward to get the former mayor to approve us to do this work. And since then, we've been building this team and working with New York State Division of Veteran Services to become the best that we can become at helping veterans and their families apply for disability claims and pension. So without further ado, I'll stop here and turn it over to each of these directors to tell them a little bit about yourself so you can get to know them. And if you have any questions, as the commissioner said, we'll field them at the end of the introductions, whether they are about our community services team or all the great resources that Commissioner Hendon just mentioned. So I'm going to turn it over to our Executive Director for Care Coordination and Mental Health, Lauren DeMello.
Hi, everyone. It's wonderful to be here tonight. So a little bit of background about me. I've had 12 years in city service, 8 of which been under mental health. I come from the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Some of my credentials in the field would be, I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I also have an additional master's in health education and a doctorate from Columbia in health and behavioral sciences, as well as a few publications in PTSD, anxiety disorder, and depression, especially through the pandemic, and ways to build back resilience and to cope. What else can I include about myself? I've just got onboarded in December, and there are a lot of things going on, and it's great to be here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Next, I'm excited to introduce you to our Director of Benefits Services, Philip Du. Philip.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Philip Du. I'm the Director of Veteran Benefit Services. So a little background about me. I was trained by a disabled American veterans. I was national service. And after that, I was promoted and then took a new job as a VA. I was the VA rating officer before I took this job. So I do have experience with both front office, also the back office knowledge of how to taking claims, interfacing with the veteran, as well as I know how the VA claim system is done. I have, experience pretty much with all sorts of claims and appeals. I represented clients before the Board of Veterans Appeals for lots of cases, including increase, disabilities, family, debt, anything you can think of, I have been dealt with before. So it's a great pleasure to be in honor to serve the people here, especially our veterans in New York City. And I'm hoping, we're keeping our veterans in our cities and make sure that they get all the benefits they have earned.
Thank you, Philip. I don't know if all of you heard Philip clearly, but he is a vice president at DAV and formerly was a rater at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. So he's on both sides of processing these claims. He's worked to help veterans directly, but also knows what it's like to sit behind a desk at the Department of Veterans Affairs and look at what these applications look like and understand what the raters are looking for in these situations. So he's a wonderful resource, and I encourage everyone here today to ask him questions about your own claim. And if you don't have anybody representing you, please come to DVS and we'd be happy to represent you, have you sign a POA, and we'll get that paperwork in for you right away. Councilmember Holden, I just want to acknowledge that you're here. Thank you for joining us. And lastly, everyone, hey, sorry, Wendy. All right, so lastly, we're going to introduce our Director of Housing and Support Services, Lamar Wheeler.
Good evening, everyone. Just a little bit about myself. I'm retired Navy. Upon my retirement, I moved into the nonprofit sector, working in substance abuse, mental health. But I always wanted to give back and serve those that have served. I've been working with DVS since its inception, and it's been a wonderful ride, knowing that there is an organization like ours to serve veterans, individuals who richly deserve everything they have coming to them. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. This is a heavy lift, but it's possible. And we here in Veterans Services are here to serve veterans and veteran families. Thank you.
Thank you, Lamar. So that is the community services team, everybody. Feel free to reach out to us about anything. This year, we're, as in every year, we're eager to hear your feedback. We're constantly looking in the mirror and trying to discuss ways that we can improve our services. And so we appreciate all the feedback that we can receive, and we really look to you to help us shape the future of our services and develop new muscles that we haven't, explored before. So thank you all. I'll turn it back over to the commissioner for any further comments from DVS.
Thanks so much, JL and everyone. I don't have further comments at this time. Just want to open up if anyone has questions for us. Just aside from the usual, as far as to reach us, it's always a phone call away as far as 212-416-5250. So 212-416-5250. Our email address is connect@veterans.nyc.gov. It is connect@veterans.nyc.gov. We can be reached online. Our website is nyc.gov/vets. Website is nyc.gov/vets. And once again, on social media, our handle on various channels is @NYC Veterans. Once again, it is @NYC Veterans. We're happy to just open up if anyone has any questions for us at this time. Thank you so much.
Commissioner, I just wanted to.
And I wanted to recognize the chair who was joined as well. I know he's getting his roses. Just want to account for Chairman of our Veterans Committee, Chairman Robert Holden. Sorry, yeah.
Yes, before I bring the chairman on, and before we also have representation from the speaker's office as well. So I wanted to know, because I see that Mr. Vallone's mic was off and now it's back off and now it's back on and now it's back on.
I'm keeping you on your toes. I'm keeping you on your toes, Wendy.
So I wanted to know if he wanted to have words, and then as soon as he's done, Commissioner, you've already give kudos to your team. Thank you so much for a job well done. We're going to ask Councilmember Holden to come, and then we're going to ask the representative from the speaker's office to come and have remarks after our Councilmember Holden. Okay, please come in that way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just give a quick update from the last meeting, and I see John's here and some of the other members. One of the asks was to spread DVS into local government, into the community part, and working with Jason's team, we have now established additional steps at the borough president's offices, and more importantly, down to the community boards through their delegation board meetings. So as of just yesterday, with Chair Holden's ability to help and get through to the Queen's delegation, we're now presenting to all of the community boards at once. And one of John and your, Madam Chair's request was, can we get more veterans on the community boards, right? Because the community boards are really the voice of what's happening in civic engagement. And we're doing that now. And as the commissioner said at the outset, there's a very short window. So for those who are participating tonight, by the time the next VAB board meeting, that window will be closed for you to submit applications to join your community boards and become more civically engaged. So the council members are hearing that call, because half of the appointments come through the council members and half come through the borough president's office. So they can only appoint a veteran to a community board unless a veteran actually applies to the community board. So we're being much more vocal and having a voice in that arena to spread to the communities, hey, we need our veterans on the boards. And for those that are on the boards, can they establish a subcommittee or a committee of veteran affairs now to work with Jason's team and our team and external governmental affairs to be part of the hearings, to be part of the speaker's office, to be part of Chair Councilman Holden's vision for veterans that he worked so hard on. And by the way, he's truly the only elected official that shows up and he wears veterans on his sleeve as a passion. It's a joy to work with him and his staff as he champions veterans in the city council. It makes this process so much more engaging when the elected officials work with us after these meetings. So there's been a lot going on, and just the newest, some of the borough presidents, you know, and being an ex-council member, you get to see some of the things from both sides. There's pots of money called capital grants and discretionary funds. And the commissioner mentioned at the beginning too, how important it is to apply for that. Even some of the council members aren't fully aware of all the veteran nonprofits in their districts. So now the commissioner is establishing a way to get those locations out. And we're also starting to work with, say, a VFW location that needs a roof to get repaired. The borough president has agreed to match capital funds with a council member who's going to pick and choose some of those sites. So that's a tremendous step forward, because we know they don't have the funding to do that. It's one of the things we've always championed to do, is how do we help get the funding? So those are some really good steps forward from the last VAB meeting. And according to Chair Wendy, I'll turn it over to Councilmember Holden for his update. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Holden?
Thanks, Wendy, and thanks, Paul and Jason, and I see John Rowan and certainly Commissioner Hendon on this, and they're always there. And by the way, that's Paul working behind the scenes with the for our American Legion halls and all the clubs, and certainly working with the borough president. That's everyone's dream. That's the biggest complaint I get from the posts, not being able to work on capital projects, not being able to even my local one, the Kowalinsky Post in Maspeth, that's the closest to my office. They got flooded in the hurricane a couple of years ago. Their basement had 5 and 6 feet of water. So we had to kind of scramble to try to get some agencies in there to drain it. We called the fire department. They couldn't do it. They were so busy. So now they'll finally hope, and just what my colleague Paul Vallone said, he's been working behind the scenes with the borough president. We're going to try to put in capital monies from the mayor and certainly from the council that we can take care of these posts, and we could put capital into them. Many of them are 100 years old. They need to be renovated. So we're working on that. Today, by the way, with thanks to the commissioner DVS, we did we're doing a Veterans Resource Center in my office, and it was standing room only today, Commissioner. You're gonna have to pay your person extra. She couldn't take a lunch break. She was so busy. And Tanya Thomas did such a great job. She worked through her lunch hour. She came in at 9. She left about 5:45 without taking a break. We brought in pizza for her and we got some soda and drinks, but I mean, you gotta give her some overtime pay. I mean, she had so many veterans waiting, and they all thanked us. But I said, look, she did a yeoman's job. She was unbelievable. So we had a lot of veterans, like I said, and many of them said it was a great thing to do. So we love to bring the Veterans Resource Center closer. Again, we thank the commissioner for that. Like Paul mentioned, we're working on a speaker member designated initiative for all council members. That means the council members will get a pot of money to give to any of the issues host of issues on veteran services. So that looks like it's going to happen. I tried in the last budget, it didn't, but this time we're very hopeful, and we heard it's moving forward. So by the way, I recently, like Paul Vallone said, we had a hearing on student veterans attending CUNY, and that was a very, very, I think, complete hearing. We had a lot of people testify, a lot of students. By the way, I taught at CUNY. I hate to say how many years, 44 years, and so the veteran students. I'm not just saying that were my best students. Because they were older, they were experienced. Sometimes they called me sir, yes sir, and I love that. And again, they were very mature, but they had a lot of issues that they had to face that many of the younger students didn't have to face. And I even taught students from student veterans from the Korean War, and who had served in the Korean War all the way up to the current veterans. So in 2017, I retired, but the veterans students at CUNY are near and dear to me, and I still keep in touch with a few of them. And what Paul said about the community board applications, we'd love to create more veterans committees on community boards. And the only way to do that is to have a veteran chair that. So it's so important that if you have time, please, the veterans out there, please try to apply to your local community board. If you need help with that, you can call my office, and I'll put it in the chat, 718-366-3900. I don't care what district of the council you're in, we can help you with that process. So thanks so much, and I'll be here. I'll be here listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Holden. I just want to say, I want to thank you. And I know I speak for the VAB, but listen, I just want to thank you for all that you do when it comes to veterans. I even received a little clip or a little snap of something that went out on Twitter about you and how you went to visit the asylum area where they have all of the individuals that are coming for other countries, and you stood up for veterans, and you don't know how much that resounded through the veteran community, reminding them that, guess what, we not only have to take care of those from abroad, that we have to take care of those who are served at home. So, and you referenced Borden Avenue when you were talking about it. So thank you so much for keeping that in the forefront and keeping veterans in the forefront in the city council and in our communities.
By the way, thank you, Wendy, for that. But, you know, some people took it the wrong way. Like I was praising the mayor for what he set up, but we're not giving enough to our veterans. And they misunderstood what I meant. A few people like commented, but we're getting improvements to the board and shelter. We're getting the private rooms for everyone. As you know, in the board and shelter, half of the city's part that takes care of veterans is a congregate. It's like a dormitory open setting, and there's a lot of fights in there. So I said, why don't we have, just like the VA provides private rooms, they're cubicles, but small rooms, 8 by 8 or 8 by 10, whatever they are. So at first they said no, and then I went to the mayor and he said yes. And so we're getting it. It's on order. Hopefully, we'll get that, in the coming months, but I think it's a good step forward there. And then I have to fix the food. We know Paul's working on that too. They did complain about the food there, and it used to be cooked on site, and that's what we're trying to bring back. But thank you, Wendy. Thanks for mentioning that.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. And we also have, if they're still on the line, I would love for them to speak and have words on behalf of the speaker of the city council. But please forgive me. Could you please pronounce your name so that I can pronounce it correctly? Because I definitely do not want to make an error in its pronunciation. But the floor is yours as well.
Thank you. So thank you, Madam Chair. So my name is Pesach Hossein, and just a quick introduction. I'm in the community, engagement division in the speaker's office, working closely with the Chairman Holden and Department of Veteran Services. Just with ensuring that there's the proper people, that the words of the committee, whenever there are committee meetings, that it's getting out, and making sure that we have representation from all the veterans organizations over at the committee meetings. And again, I want to thank you for allowing me this time to introduce myself.
Thank you so much. You're more than welcome. And please, let your constituents, we have a flyer that has all of our updated meetings and the sessions that are coming forward for the year. If there's anyone on the DVS side, or if there's someone that's listening from BVSJ, if you can upload that flyer into the chat for us, that would be deeply appreciated, so that that everyone will be able to have our meeting itinerary and when we're meeting and what months we're meeting. That would be great, so that everybody could have it. And then we're going to send it out to everybody that's on the line today. Share it with your constituents, share it with families. This is the place where we can come to get information about how to service our veterans and their families as well. So thank you so much. We have some other board members that have joined us. Would you please take a few moments to introduce yourself and let them know that you're here and you're on the Mayor's Veterans Advisory Board, please? I see John, I see Jennifer, I see Todd. Is there anyone else that can give a quick shout out and let everybody know you're there? Hi, Peter.
Jen Kamrowski. I am an Army veteran. I'm in the New York City, Manhattan district.
Hi, Todd Haskins here, a Marine Corps veteran representing Manhattan.
Hi, I'm Peter Kaufman representing Queens, and I'm a Navy veteran.
Paul Dietrich, Staten Island, Army veteran.
John? Oh, there he is.
John Rowan, Queens, Air Force.
Have we got all of the board members introduced? Okay, this time we're going to just do, we're going to turn it over for question and answers, or you can put your questions in the chat. If there's anyone that is represented in the open space that would like to share for 1 or 2 minutes about your organization and what you provide to the veteran space, please let us know. If you have any questions for any of our DVS team or for any member of the board, or something that is really heavy on your heart pertaining to the veteran community, please, you have this time to do that. But you know what? I want to interject one thing. Okay, I think I can do that. And I'm going to ask, because I don't have and I took this, I took the liberty as the chair, knowing that I am representing, the board of VAB, and also we just wanted to have this opportunity. And I'm going to ask, I don't know who has it, but as you know, I'm on medical leave and I'm not in my office, but I have a terrific staff. And I'm going to ask whoever has a package for me. They were supposed to bring a package for me. Could you please stand with that package in the middle of the room that you have? This is Kevin Meggett, and he's opening up an award. And that award is being presented to, and I'm going to ask Joe Bello to please come to the middle of the floor. And Joe, it would not be a last meeting if we did not recognize the great work and the terrific service that you have given to the veteran space, and especially with the time spent with the Veterans Advisory Board, the Mayor's Veteran Advisory Board. So the members of the Veterans Advisory Board created this certificate of honor specifically for you. And it reads on this wise: the New York City Mayor's Veterans Advisory Board Certificate of Honor, presented to Joseph A. Bello. You are the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for your leadership, commitment, dedication, and unwavering loyalty to every veteran and their family in New York City. And in addition to your meritorious service and the work that you've done and provided to the Mayor's New York City Veterans Advisory Board, presented by the New York City Veterans Advisory Board on Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. It's affixed with all of our names and signature. Put to you from Andrew Walcott, John Rowan, Jennifer, Nancy, Paul Dietrich, Todd Haskins, Linda Olis, Peter Kaufman, myself as the chair, Charles Hernandez as the vice chair, and Mercedes Ellis as the secretary. Joe, thank you so much for the years of service and everything that you've done. I'm quite to say, along with us and everybody else on this call, forward ever, backwards never. Even though you're leaving this particular department, you definitely will always be seen in the veteran space. We appreciate you and thank you for all of your years of service to the Veterans Advisory Board. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead. If anybody would have any questions, or you have any comments, or anything that you would like to share with the Department of Veteran Services or about your organization, please, you have 2 minutes. Coming your own way.
Hello, my name is Victoria Falk. I'm here representing the New American Chamber of Commerce and the African American Chamber and the Hispanic American Chamber. Just wanted to let you know that we have free membership for veterans who are interested in learning about entrepreneurship, taking business courses. We have free courses. So I'm just here to let you know that and to listen in. We have a Veterans Business Assistance Program. We love our vets and we want to do more to support you.
Ms. McClinton, your mic is on mute.
I'm doing sign language, lip language. No, Mr. Falk, can you please put your information in the chat and with your contact information so everybody could reach out to you and share it, please?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that's in the office or anyone else that would like to share about their organization or have any questions?
Yes, I do. I'm Kevin C. Meggett, representing Black Veterans for Social Justice with 44 years of proven service. And I just want everyone to know that we have more than just the Homeless Veteran Reintegration Program, known as HVRP, but we also have housing assistant, employment search, food pantry every Wednesday, as well as counseling and suicide prevention. We're a great resource. We've always been a friend to with the city and have partnered with the city. So you have more support if you could come in and visit us. We're at 665 Willoughby Avenue, and we are open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Every day, Monday through Friday. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Meggett. Is there anyone else?
Yes, ma'am. This is Jose Rios. I just wanted to talk briefly about the Staff Sergeant Fox Veteran Suicide Prevention Program at Black Veterans for Social Justice. This is a 3-year grant provided by the Department of Veterans Affairs, whose mission is to mitigate, reduce, or minimize suicide among military veterans. And it's done at Black Veterans for Social Justice, if I may quote you, ma'am, with tender loving care and with a listening ear. And currently the program covers 5 boroughs and also covers Nassau County, Suffolk County, and Westchester County. So if you know of any veterans who are in mental health crisis, who have had past suicidal ideation, past suicide attempts, please have them reach out to me at Black Veterans for Social Justice. Again, my name is Jose Rios, and we will make every effort we possibly can to help that veteran accordingly. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Rios, so much. Mr. Rios, I have one question. We don't have to, does the program have an aftercare?
That's a good question.
Aftercare service?
That's a good question. I don't think that the grant actually speaks to an aftercare. However, that's something that I think that we should seriously consider.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to share any information on upcoming events? Anything going on in the veteran community? Greenlee, we want to also, Ms. Ellen, we also, you know what? I want to thank you for your leadership and your coordination of this Hello Ready Fresh, this food initiative, because we're still feeding veterans, their family, and the community, and you do a Herculean task with coordinating those services and getting them out with your team. So thank you so much, because that effort is still going on. We're still, you know, dealing with food insecurities within the veteran community. And your team and Black Vets, thank you as well, and everyone else, but thank you so much. You're doing a Herculean task with that. Thank you so much for making it happen. Would you like to have words? Because we should be on our 1 millionth 1,000 bag by now.
Right, exactly. In fact, I packed the 1 millionth kit. I just want to let you know personally. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. I do want to add that next on February 16th in the evening from 6:30 to 8, we're going to be holding our first virtual transition assistant program for new young veterans coming into New York City. And we have an amazing list of speakers that will be joining us. We have R.J. Jenkins, Beth Morgan from the Columbia University Center for Veteran Transition and Integration. We have Tom Murphy from the Human Resiliency Institute at Fordham University. We also have our own care coordination unit staff that will be, as well as the new director from the VAs. We have Dr. Khanna from the Bronx and Tim Graham from Harbor Care in New York joining us to talk about benefits for transitioning veterans. We did text out messages to these new veterans off of a list that we did recently receive from the Department of from DOD and DOD. I'm sorry, and just to give you the heads up, we are really trying to engage these veterans early on in their stay in New York City and really encourage them to really enjoy their transition here and to ease their transition to New York City. So just to give you the heads up, one of the many activities that we're participating here.
Excellent. That's definitely needed. And before I would be remiss, it was something that I wanted to share, just a suggestion to Commissioner Hendon and Jason and to the entire team of DVS. They will be having caucus weekend. Caucus weekend is February the 16th all the way to February 20th in Albany. And I think that a lot of times we miss some actual great opportunities to share the work and share what needs to be done in our veteran space. And maybe not this year. I don't know if it's too late, Commissioner, but you know, you the commissioner and Council Member Holden is right, sitting right there. And he could probably make some sort of workshop or some sort of platform for DVS to introduce what actually is going on downstate with veterans, because at this particular caucus, you have all your assembly members, you have all your council members, there's various workshops, everything going on, dealing with different infrastructures that take place within New York City. And just a suggestion that maybe next year, if they can't get us up there this year, that we do some sort of workshop or some sort of reception, that we keep veterans issues and the speaking and the town hall and whatever we need to do to get veterans in a space where we could clearly hear, you know, the voices, what needs to be done, all the way from the vendor, all the way to entrepreneurship, all the way to claims, all that different stuff like that. So I just wanted to put that out there, that that's a venue where we can get more elected officials, more assembly, and then all the individuals at large that go from large numbers go from New York City, and a lot of them are veterans, and individuals who operate in the veteran space are up at this caucus in Albany. So please, just a suggestion to look that up so that we can get more people on board to get the work in New York City continue to make it to be veteran friendly. Just wanted to share that.
Madam Chair, I just want to mention on that front, we at DVS attend caucus weekend. We attended in 2020. We missed 2021 because of COVID, and we also did with 2022, and we will have a presence there in 2023. So I'll get with you offline too about what you're doing while you're up there and ways we can connect. I know we'll be with a panel that Senator Comrie's putting together for caucus weekend. So no, we're completely all in on ways that we can be able to get the word out to all of our brothers and sisters who attend caucus weekend. So thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Excellent. And not only being in somebody else's panel, we need to have our own. DVS, here we are, you know, letting them know who we are and getting that information out there. So we're going to be up there. And I know there's a panel that's going on that I won't be there. I'm on medical leave, but Mr. Rios will be representing Black Veterans for Social Justice. There's a veteran panel that they're going to be having those discussions, but we need to create our own room and our own space to augment the work and the stuff that we need to do in New York City and highlight the things that DVS is doing. Is there anyone else? Anyone else have something they would like to share? If not, we want to thank everybody for participating. I'm going to ask for the participants. Could you please put your name and email address in the chat, whether you're online or in the office? If you're in the office, there should be an attendance sheet. Drop in your name and your email address so we can send you all the updates, any questions that we haven't answered, any concerns that you may have, so we could address them accordingly. So please, we ask everyone to put your information in the chat. All right? Yes.
Mr. Megan, I just want to, before we leave, I want to ask a question. Is DVS's position, is it to service homelessness or is it to end it, eradicate it? Could someone answer that for me?
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'll start, Kevin. I'll start, and then I'll pass it on to if Lamar Jails, you want to jump in. For us, just charter-wise, we're tasked to assist and inform our veterans and their families And so for us, the areas that we're assisting the form on just by law are healthcare, housing, benefits, culture, education, and employment. And so for us, we're working to get to functional zero as far as the homeless veteran count. And functional zero is anything that is less than 400. And so we're working to get there and to stay there as far as to, we don't think you'll ever have a zero, an absolute zero, but the goal is to continue to push to something where we're at functional zero, so that as our brothers and sisters come into the system, we're able to treat them right away to help them get to a better place. And so it's about ending chronic veteran homelessness, yes, but really to us, it's how to get down to functional zero. And just so we know the count, most recent point in time count is 482 as far as the number of homeless veterans per the most recently published data from HUD, 8 street homeless, and then the rest in the shelter system. And we're working to try to continue to move that number down so that we can keep and maintain the functional zero amount. I'll defer Lamar, JL, if y'all want to add anything to that.
Commissioner, I think that you answered that quite well. The only thing I also want to add is that we work with NYCHA, HPD, DSS, the VA, our SSVFs. So there's a lot of partners in this that we coordinate with and collaborate with to see that we hit that goal. We'd love to invite you to the Veteran Task Force if you're not already a part of it, if you're interested in learning more about this collective effort.
I am, but I have another question. I'm sorry. So in this functional zero portion, if you're in shelter, are you considered housed, or is that part of housing, or is it are you counting it as homeless, or is that person still homeless, or they considered housed?
They're still considered homeless, Kevin. So yeah, if there's in the shelter, they're still considered homeless. And so we are working to get those numbers down. And just something to add to that, it's getting more supportive housing available for our brothers and sisters is the key there. In other words, having more supportive housing that's out there. And how do we rebrand supportive housing for the folks who are in the shelter system so that they know, okay, look, you know, I can go somewhere and have the appropriate supports and it not have whatever stigma is typically associated with it. So a lot of our work is how do you have more supportive housing created so that the men and women in shelter system for whom that is a better fit, say, hey, look, there's something out here for me I can go to. And so that's what we've been working to get more units erected through the state, through the Empire State Supportive Housing Initiative, where it's been more than 140 over the past 2 years that are in the pipeline to be developed on that. And we're doing other things to develop more supportive housing. There's no churn in the existing supportive housing. So a lot of our homeless veterans or formerly homeless, they go there and they stay there. So you don't have enough people moving out for there to be enough open units for somebody to go from, say, board into that. So we're trying to get this pipeline going where more of it is erected. We're focused like a laser on that. You do that, you bring down the numbers in the shelter system. So yeah.
So how and this is my last question. I'm sorry. How feasible would it be for New York City as a city to create veteran city housing or city veteran housing?
It's something that we've been thinking about internally and talking about as far as how do we get through this as far as getting something like that done as a city. So I don't want to speak beyond my purview as Commissioner for Veteran Services, but it's something we've been focusing like a laser on, speaking with our Chief Housing Officer about, talking with the NYCHA, interim CEO about also, and just talking to different stakeholders to try to figure out what can we do to get something off the ground that reflects what you're saying. But I got to be clear, as far as within the chain of command, I don't fully control it. I'm an actor here and we're working to push it, but know that we are focused like a laser on what do we do on this housing front, not just the supportive housing, but also the affordable housing and ownership, the whole thing. How can we be right by our people?
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for your questions. We definitely have a hard stop at 7. We want to also recognize, Ashton Stewart, the veteran liaison. He's here on the call. So many other organizations, the National Association of Black Military Women, all those on this call, continue to join us. Our next meeting will be in April. The flyer will be sent out to you through your email addresses. Please, let's get our networks on board and let's keep the veteran agenda first and foremost. Forward ever, backwards ever. If there's no questions, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you in April. Have a great and wonderful evening. Stay safe and be well. Bye-bye.